Insiders and everyone out there, how the heck are you doing on this amazing Friday or Saturday morning, depending where you're coming to us from? It's so great to catch up with you here. You'll notice that we have an amazing, incredible special guest here. And what's really great about this is Mick, she's going to share with us, and I'm not going to introduce her quite yet, but she's going to share with us so many tips, so many tricks. I know you've gained a lot of information on social media as well. You've shared a few tips, especially inside our group, Insiders Elite. I think what Angie's really going to do is be able to take that to the next level. Are you excited?
I'm pumped. I'm super excited. Jamie's been talking about Angie for a few weeks now and working together with her and doing some stuff. So I'm really, really excited to hear all the secrets and see how they can implement and impact the business owners and the business people inside our group and in our network. So I'm super excited. So,
awesome.
Yeah. Absolutely epic. Without further ado, let me introduce Angie, the boss, Doss, who works in organic network marketing. She is a business strategist and coach. And what she really helps you do is attract your ideal client and lead them on the road to success. How good does that sound? How does she do it? It's all about that online and social media presence. And what Angie's going to share with us today is some of those great tips, some of those great tricks, some of those areas that we might even be overlooking in our own social profiles of how to make that change, get us that recognition, and get us out there. Angie, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Jamie. It's an honor to be here with you guys.
Absolutely. And it's really, really, really great to have you on here. Angie and I have been working on a project over the last couple of weeks, and it's been absolutely amazing. It's given us the opportunity to really connect, to really start to understand what each of us does, where we're making those differences and everything. And when it became so evident to me, so obvious why Angie had to come on the show, was because of that immense knowledge that she has. And she kept talking about this thing, and I'm going to ask her some questions about it right now. She kept saying this word algorithm. What is this algorithm thing? I hear about it, but I don't have a clue what that means. Angie, could you enlighten us? Could you give us at least some sort of clue what the heck this algorithm is?
Absolutely, absolutely. That name is thrown around a lot, the algorithm, and a lot of people, when I ask them, do you know how it works? They're like, no, I hear people talking about it all the time, but I don't really understand it, or I don't know what it is. Some people have a negative connotation about it, but it's actually, I look at it like it's Facebook police. So, every business, everybody has that structure and some type of police to make sure that things run properly, that there's not a lot of riffraff going on, that, everything is orderly. And Facebook algorithm is the police. Some people look at the police as like the bad guys, but some people look at the police as the good guys. So you can either have the algorithm working for you, like the police on the streets are working for us, or some people look at the police as, oh, they're just out to get us and give us tickets and take, you know what I mean? So, but really, I look at it as the algorithm is my friend. And I want it to be your friend as well. Now, the algorithm has its rules, and it likes to run Facebook a certain way. And if you don't follow the rules, it's going to tap you on the hand. It's going to keep you from really doing what you want to do on Facebook. If you're on Facebook to engage with friends and things like that, that's great. But if you're here because you want to run a business, which a lot of people are doing, as you know, especially since COVID happened, everybody's going online. Everybody's going online. Businesses are online. Everybody is going in the online space. Social media is where it's at. And there's a lot of different platforms out there. But if you're doing this for business, I can tell you tried and true, Facebook is where it is the king of social media. So if you want to, so what I like to do is I try to make it as simple as possible, of course. And so if you can think of it this way, Facebook was created for us to connect with other people. That's really when it first began, it was for us to make connections with people all over the world, friends, family, business, whatever it was. And it's been the most brilliant idea ever. I've made so many friends like you guys. I didn't even know you guys. If it wasn't for Facebook, we wouldn't have met, So as far as the algorithm goes, it rewards you for interacting with people, for engaging with people. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to connect and engage with people. We're not here to just get on Facebook and just scroll and look at other people's stuff. Like, you have to actually get out there and connect. And the algorithm loves it. The more connections you can make, the more engagement you have. The algorithm is like, oh my gosh, we're gonna show your stuff to more people. We're gonna reward you. Keep doing that. Keep making more friends. Keep making more connections. Keep sharing your content, things like that. It loves it. Okay, so that's a little bit about the algorithm and what it does and why it's even there.
So that's amazing. And you hear the word the algorithm thrown around, and you hear, you know, oh, the algorithm does this and it changes that, and oh, they've changed the algorithm and now this doesn't work. And so what are the say for business owners, what are the top 3 things that they can do to leverage the algorithm to get a bit more reach, to connect with more people, to, I suppose, be seen a bit more? The top 3 things that like a business owner could do simply and easily to help them work with the algorithm instead of against it.
Absolutely. So what you want to do is, of course, you know, engagement is key, and the algorithm is always keeping score. So if you have not been really engaging with anybody for the past year, maybe you're just on there scrolling, but you're not really talking to people, you're not really commenting and loving on other people's posts, the algorithm is like, you're not really that social. We're not even going to show your stuff to other people because you probably, you know, you're not going to really appreciate it anyway or use it to your advantage. So one of the main things you can do, first of all, is you want to have a profile. You want to have a nice profile, because your profile is really, it's your image. It's like people are coming into your home. You know, do you want a dirty home? Do you want a home that doesn't have any furniture or any pictures on the wall, or, you know, or do you want to represent yourself? So your profile picture should be a picture of you, should be just a clear picture of just you, not a picture of your dog or your kids or like a group of people. It should just be, it's a profile picture of you. So just have a nice profile, whatever it is that you do. Like for me, for example, I live outside. I work from home. I live at the beach. So my picture, I have, you know, people know me for that. They know that I'm the nature girl. So for you, it might be something else. Like I know Jamie, you're always in the studio. That's what you're known for. You're the business guy. Yeah. You're the guy. So it would be a different atmosphere for you. So a nice, clear profile of yourself. And then your cover photo should be something also related to something that you do, whether it be work related or something that people know you for. It doesn't have to be super, you know, some people get a little out of hand with it, but just keep it simple. So a profile, cover photo, and then your bio and your intro should also be a little bit about you. When people click on your profile, the first thing they do is they want to know about you. That's why they're even there. So the more you can communicate with people about you, what you do, where you're from, maybe a little bit about your background in your intro, that's going to help tremendously. They're already connecting. They're already going to either build that rapport or not. So that's the first thing that I would start with. Make sure your profile is set up for success. So that's the first thing. That's the first thing that I do. The next thing that you want to do, say you have a business and you've been putting out great, amazing content. You're like maybe getting 3 or 4 likes, maybe a comment or 2, and you're like, this is like the most awesome content ever. Like people pay big money for this content. I don't know why I'm not getting more likes and comments and things on it, shares and things like that. Well, it's not that your content isn't good. It's just that the algorithm isn't showing it to people. So, and that's really what it's all about. So that's where I cracked the code to show people how to have the algorithm working with you to show it to more people. You don't have to have 5,000 friends. A lot of people, they just want to reach that goal. I want to max out my friends list. I want to if I have 5,000 friends, that's more people that are seeing my content. That is not correct. The algorithm is only going to show, if you have 5,000 friends, for example, and you're not working with the algorithm might be showing 10% of your 5,000 friends.
Wow.
So you're really not doing, it's not quantity, it's quality. So it's better to have 1,000 friends that are actually engaging and interacting and you working with the algorithm than 5,000 friends and you not knowing what you're doing, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So-
And I've heard that before too, right? You want those quality people that are going to interact with you, that, you'll interact with them, they'll interact with you, and it's going to get that exposure of your posts, of your content, of all that sort of stuff in there. So big key point right there, right? It's not about getting all those friends. It's about having meaningful connections and meaningful conversations. Now I have to believe, again, this algorithm thing, it's new to me. I've never figured it out. I've never cracked the code. And Angie, I understand you have a program coming up that you've recently launched that's going to help people to really understand that, to really crack that code. But what I think is really great, and you've shared that with us right here, is narrowing it down to those people who you can have those meaningful connections with. Now, you shared one thing with me just about friends. Is it okay if you share that here? Is that one thing that you could share with us, or is that proprietary to your program?
No, that's actually when I'm going through my process of training somebody on this, the first thing that we do is what I just told you. We set up your profile first. Then the next thing you do, and this is a secret ninja trick that a lot of people don't know, but once you explain it to them, they're like, oh my gosh, okay, this makes so much sense. So the first thing I do is I tell them to go to their profile and go to your friends list. Okay, so you want to click on your friends list, and then you want to just simply go through. I don't care if you have 500 friends or 5,000 friends. You want to go through your list and just start scrolling down until you see anybody without a profile picture at all. If it's that blank white photo that Facebook gives you, those are either dead accounts or they're dummy accounts. Sometimes people create an account and then they never do anything with it. Those people are taking up room in your algorithm. If your algorithm is only showing your post to 500 people at a time and you have 10 of those people dead weight, you could be having potential clients that are looking for what you have that aren't being seen because those dummy accounts are there. So the first thing you want to do is you want to go through your friends list, delete any stagnant accounts or blank accounts. That's the first thing. And then also another thing that I do is as I'm scrolling through, and if you're like me, you have a lot of friends on Facebook, you might not recognize a lot of the people. You're like, who is this person? Who is this person? Who is this person? I'll either first send them a message. Hey, I know we've been friends here for a while. It's great to connect. Would love to know a little bit more about you. And I'll leave it at that. And then open up, because it could be a potential client. Maybe we just didn't ever connect. Maybe they sent me a friend request. I never get around to it. So I at least want to try to engage with that person to see if they're real or whatever. If they, after a couple of days, if they read it, but they don't respond back, I'm going to delete them because they read the message, but they're not interacting with me. They obviously don't want to connect with me. I'm going to make room for other people that do.
I love that.
So that's
that can be. So when I hear that and I think of some of these numbers and stuff, some of these people that have gone and maxed their friends out, they might start telling themselves a story that, oh my gosh, this is just so much work to do. But if you take a little stab at it, maybe you go through a few hundred a day or something like that, you can really break that down, update your profile to have relevant people on there, real, true, actual connections. And I've got to believe that that's going to help that algorithm really start to get your content out to those great people. Now, I'm curious about this. We, of course, got personal profiles, but many of us also have our business page on there. And again, without giving away too much from your program, the relationship, and this is something I think is going to help a lot of us, the relationship between our business page and our personal profile. What should we look at that as? Or how should we look at it, I guess?
Well, I'll tell you personally, and this is just for me, everybody is different, but my business is a relationship type business. And so I actually don't have a business page. All I do is everything from my profile because I want to connect with real people and I want to help real people. And I can't do that on a business page. Now, it might be different for a corporate business or depending on what your niche is or whatever, you might need that business page. Or if you've maxed out your friends and you really have a lot of clients there and engagement and things like that, you can branch out and get a business page as well. Or if you have like secret content or you have, trainings and things like that you don't want to put on your regular personal profile, you want to lead them to your business page to get that information. Does that help?
Definitely does.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that does. That's brilliant. And your niche is all around organic growth on Facebook, which is
Yes.
mostly through the personal profile.
Yes.
And with the algorithm, what is the connection with paid advertising? It's my understanding that the business pages are set up and designed with the algorithm for paid advertising, so you don't get very good rich or organic results off your business pages. So, what are your thoughts or ideas, or how should businesses use possibly paid advertising on Facebook in connection with organic stuff, or is there a connection, or is there a way to leverage the algorithm to take advantage of both of those, or to link them together?
Yeah, that's a great question. Honestly, from just the few people that I know that have done paid advertisement through Facebook, they've spent a lot of money with very little return. People would rather connect with real people that they're going to do business with than to just click on an ad. Unless they're looking for a certain thing. Like if you're just really looking for a coach and you're just like, man, I really need to find this, it's going to pop up in their Facebook because of their Google search or whatever. But for the most part, people are going to want to connect with you first to see if they even want to work with you, to see what kind of business do you have. Is this somebody that I, even jive with? But that's just my opinion. Now, if you have a big business and it's just, it's really doing well, it would not hurt to do some paid advertisement just to get it out there to reach more people. But I don't know how to, actually the algorithm likes paid advertisement because you're working with Facebook, and that's why Facebook is here to make money.
Yeah.
And so it's going to actually show it a good bit because you're paying them.
Yeah.
That's what Facebook is. That Facebook isn't just here just because they just want to be nice and be your friend. They will actually want to make money. That's what the Facebook ads are for, and that's why they're there. And that's where it makes its money. So it's going to show those ads. And I think that you can pick how much is shown or not, depending on what package you get. But you're not going to have to work with the algorithm. It's already like, okay, well, yeah, you're paying us. We're gonna have you seen more.
Yeah. And one of the things that I think we've all seen, because we all have a mentor in common, and he's really shared that by utilizing your personal page, utilizing it the right time, the right place, with the right words, the right type of post, you can really get that growth. Now, here's something, and I'm totally going to attribute this to Angie here because she did this. So I did some of the stuff that she told me, and I tweaked some stuff. I fixed the profile, tightened up the picture, did a few things, and then I posted a crazy picture. It was just like the most ridiculous picture ever. I was cooking some Brussels sprouts, bacon, and asparagus. Like, I'm talking nothing fancy here. It was just me over the pan, took the picture, sent it out at a specific time, put it out, and there wasn't even words to it. But what I had done is I did a couple practices that Angie shared with me, and that post in itself, a silly picture of Brussels sprouts, bacon, and asparagus in a pan, it's like almost 100 likes on that picture. It just blew me away.
Right.
But what it was the work that I did beforehand, the work to connect myself with that algorithm. And that post, that was me testing it out. I'm like, okay, is Angie really, is she really for real? Let's see. And oh my God, it blew my mind.
It worked.
Simply by getting friendly with that algorithm, it made all the difference in the world. So, right, it works.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's all about engagement. So I can give you that little ninja trick if you want. I mean, it's not like I can't share this information. It's all about sharing, right?
We'll take it.
This is another one of those secret things that you're not going to hear. A lot of people, when I tell them this, are like, wow, I never heard that before. I mean, I know it's about engagement, but I didn't know that. So yes, timing of your post is important. It is. But if you're doing business all over the world, it's going to be seen no matter what time you post it anyway, because everybody's in different time zones. But you're going to find, who is online most in your friends list. You can see that, how many people are online at certain times. So those are good peak times to do it. But one thing that you want to do even more importantly is before your post, before you've typed it all up. Another thing, you don't want to copy and paste. Like say you typed up, 2 paragraphs of something that you want to post. You put it like in Google Doc, and then you want to copy and paste it to your Facebook once you got it all perfectly. You don't want to do that. You don't want to copy and paste anything. You want to type it all out. It doesn't like copy and pasting anything, because you look like, you're not being authentic. Like, where did you type this, or did you take this from somebody else? The algorithm doesn't like that. Anyway, before you
that's a big tip, by the way, because I do that.
Yeah.
I copy paste because I want to get it right. So I take the time, I write it out, I paste it in, and then I wonder why I don't get engagement on those posts. Interesting. Carry on.
Yes. So copy and paste, the algorithm hates that, because it doesn't know, did you steal that from another friend of yours and now you're trying to make it your own? It's kind of like a copyright thing. It hates copy and paste. So don't copy and paste. Don't share things that take you out of Facebook. For example, like you don't want to share a YouTube video. Facebook wants you to stay in Facebook. So if you're trying to share a YouTube video, it's going to take you out of Facebook. Facebook is like, oh, hell no. You're not. We want you to stay here with us in Facebook. You're not going to it doesn't like YouTube. It doesn't like all these other links that take you to other sites and things like that. If you're going to do that, and sometimes we're going to do that because of business, do it in a message privately with that person instead of sharing it on your page. If you notice that on anything you've ever posted that had a link that takes you out of Facebook, it probably didn't get that many likes or shares or even comments. It's because Facebook didn't want you it didn't want your friends to see that. So that's one thing. So you don't want to share, and you don't want to copy and paste. Be authentic. Keep it in Facebook. That's the first thing. Another thing, here's another secret trick. So take 15 to 20 minutes before your post, and you want to do something called priming, or it's kind of like warming up the algorithm. It's like, okay, we're going to warm this algorithm up before we put this post out here. What you want to do, and I just set a timer on my phone and just set it for like 15 minutes or so, and then set your timer, and then go to your regular Facebook feed and just start loving and commenting on as many friends' posts as you can, if you really like it. I mean, don't like something if you don't like it, but just go through, and you want to comment, because you're just going to engage for 15, 20 minutes. You can get through a lot of people like that, but the algorithm loves it. It's like, woo, she's out, she's live, she's on here, and she's doing all this. And then you put your post out, the algorithm is opening it up to twice as many people as it would without the priming. So you want to prime first. And then, here's another little tip. So you know how you see other people's posts, some people will like it and they might comment on it. The Facebook doesn't like the like button, believe it or not. It loves the love button, the haha, the wow, any other except for the like button. And I think it's because when Facebook first came out, all it had, do you remember when it was only the like button there was? And now it's like, that's old news. Don't like. It's just so vanilla, let's love some people's stuff. Let's ha some people's stuff. Let's really get out there and really engage with people. So I love to love people's stuff. So I love it, and then I comment on it. But if it resonates with you, of course. But do that 15, 20 minutes before your post. Here's one more secret trick. You primed, you did your post. Right afterwards, stay around, hang out there for a little bit, and wait for somebody to comment. Wait for that first person to comment. As soon as they comment, you want to like or love their comment, and then you want to comment right back. The algorithm is like, bam, even more engagement. She engaged with her first fan there, and then it opens it up to even more. So that's a little trick for you. That'll get it going really good and just open up to a lot of people just doing those few simple things.
That's some amazing tips right there. That's awesome. I'd love to hear your thoughts on another little something that got shared. I think it was through Richmond's program, and he talks about milking the post or engaging with it longer and helping that post stay relevant for longer, is spacing out, like do your initial few engagements, but then leave it for a little while, a day or a half a day, and then don't comment to everybody, just do half, and then the next day do half. And then is that something that currently supports the algorithm, or is that something that's changed now? Or is that something that can work?
That absolutely works. That absolutely works. And that's what I do. I space it out, Because every time that you comment on your, like somebody comments on your thing and you comment back to that person, it's going to refresh it back into your news feed. So if you space it out every couple of hours and comment on a couple of more people's comments, it's going to refresh it for more people that didn't see it the first time to see maybe they were at work or they're just coming online. So if you can, the more times you can refresh it and comment back on people's things, the more it's going to be seen, and the more comments and it can continue on for several days.
That's awesome. And you said there about peak times for people to jump on, and when you know there's obviously more people online. Is there some really common peak times that are generally speaking that they're the most popular times, or that's when Facebook's the most hot, or you know, is there like some common times you found, or is it just go find when your people are online?
Yeah, it does depend on your people, of course. But what I found peak times for most people is going to be first thing in the morning, around 8:00 a.m., between 8 and 10. People are just waking up, they're drinking their coffee, they're eating breakfast, kind of seeing what's going on, you know, before they start their day. And then another good time is lunchtime, between 11 and 2. People are going to lunch, or you know, they're maybe, you know, at the restaurant, they're checking out, they're ordering their food, they're going to be on Facebook kind of seeing what's going on. That's a good time to do another post. And then in the evening, around 8:00 p.m. is a good time too, because people, you know, they get home if they're working. If they're working from home, it's different. But if they actually come home from work, you know, around 6 o'clock or so, they're going to come home. They want to shower. They want to settle in for a little bit. They want to cook dinner, all that stuff. Then usually around 8 o'clock, people are settling in. And they're really, now is the time they're going to be on Facebook. They're relaxed. They're pretty much done with anything else they were going to do for the day. And so that's another good time to post. That's when I like to do longer posts. Like if it's a paragraph or two that people actually have to read it, or even like a Facebook Live that they actually have to spend time to listen to it, that's a good time to do it, because people are not like, okay, I got 3 or 4 other things I'm doing right now. You know how people are so busy during the day, they're multitasking and stuff. They don't have time to read long posts during the day. But at night is a really good time. People are settling in. Some people read at night. That's a good time to put out those type of posts.
That's a really great tip too, because I actually found it myself. Like you see a long post and you're having a quick look at lunchtime and you're like, oh, I haven't got time to read that. Scroll past.
Right.
I'll see if that pops up on my newsfeed later. I haven't got time to read that one, you know, keep going
Exactly.
past it. Post. So that's actually a really good tip. Had never thought of that. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you have some that you've already done that were really good, longer posts, you can go and milk it and milk it around 8:00 p.m. for people that haven't seen it to go and see it when they're settled in.
Awesome. And if there's sorry, Jamie, if there's
go, please, Mick, go.
If there's somebody that has like multiple businesses, and you have a business page for each, but you have a personal page, is there any tips or tricks or things that you can recommend for them to be able to get engagement on different topics? Should they post separately? Should they share a business page post? Should they, how is there anything that you tips or tricks you can give to help that?
Yes, absolutely. So the first thing you want to do is you want to have your business page link in your intro on your profile. That's the best thing you can do. When people are going to your profile to see a little bit about you, they see that link. But out of curiosity, people are going to want to click on it. What is this? Oh, he's got a business page. And then they're going to want to join that page if they like your regular content on your personal page. So that's the first thing that I would do. Another good thing to do is Facebook Lives are really powerful. The algorithm loves Facebook Lives because, again, you're engaging, you're sharing really authentic content, and people love them. The key is not to have them too long. Some people have, you know, Facebook Lives for 20 minutes, 25 minutes. People don't have time for that. People's attention spans are very short, very small. People are very busy. But if it's around 5 minutes or less, if you can just share one little nugget, and then you can even tell them, you know, I'm going more in depth on this topic in my business page. And then, of course, they're going to want to join your page and see more about that if it's something that relates to them. So that's what I would do.
Love that. And that really speaks to that content model of your pillar content versus some of your micro content and all that. You've got your pillar content stored away maybe on your business page, or I know Facebook hates it, but YouTube, maybe that's where it's stored.
Yeah.
What are we looking to do though? We're looking to take that big content, break it down into those little smaller pieces. Now,
Yeah.
I'm curious about something because of course we've all heard of our good friend Gary Vee. And what's his big thing? Create 64 pieces of content in a day, create 100 pieces of content in a day. Is there, in your opinion, and we're just talking opinions and stuff, is there an ideal amount of content? And when I'm talking content, I'm actually talking posts. Even when Gary talks 64 pieces of content, that's across multiple platforms. That's the difference between stories, between posts, between a bunch of stuff. It's actually quite easy to do 64 pieces of content in a day. But when we're talking actual posts, do you have a recommended number of actual posts that you would put up, say, in a day?
Absolutely. That is a great question. The algorithm is going to focus on whatever you post out there, and if you are working with the algorithm, it's going to try to share it with as many people as possible. If it likes, if you're doing all the things that we just mentioned previously, if you post more than once, I only recommend once a day. Let that post just go. If you're commenting and re-commenting several times a day, you're going to let the algorithm share it to 80% of your friends list. But if you have, for instance, some people post twice a day, some people post 3 times a day, maybe it's all good content, but you're kind of confusing the algorithm. It's like, do I want to show this first one or do I want to show the second one? So you're splitting up say if you do 2 posts, you might show 20% to one post and only 20% to the other post in that day.
Wow.
So it's better to have 40% in one post and then maybe the next day do a different post. That's what I would do. That's what I found that works better. Otherwise, you're splitting up. The algorithm is trying to share it, but it can't share it with everybody.
Excellent. That's a real piece of gold, because for those people who have struggled creating content, right, or who just they get the idea. I'm one of those people. I get the idea. I want to put it out. Boom.
Yeah.
All right. Sometimes it's like, oh, I got another great idea. Boom. I throw it out. But I'm actually doing myself a little bit of a disservice because, like you said, I'm confusing the algorithm, or I'm not allowing it to get full traction on each post. Best thing to do there, capture the information, right? Absolutely.
Yes.
Capture that idea, that thought. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And if it's something, if you see, some people have no problem creating content, and they can create a lot of content like you that have all these ideas and they can just pop it out. And then you have other people that are like, oh, I know I need to post something today. And they feel like they have to post and they can't think of what to post. And then they post something that's not really that great, but they just post it just because they know they need to make themselves seen for that day. It's better just to save it for only good stuff. Like me personally, I only post every couple of days. When the thought arises or when the feeling is there and I know it's something good, I'll post it. But it's not a job for me like, oh, okay, I need to post something today. What am I going to post today? Well, let me think about that. And it'd be something crappy. It's not, you're not doing yourself a service by doing that. It's better just to save it for the good content only. And if it's only a couple of days a week, that's better than crappy stuff every day.
Absolutely. Now, obviously, the big key focus here so far has been Facebook. Of course, Facebook owns Instagram. Obviously, the idea behind Instagram, we want those pictures, we want those photos, we want that real life stuff there. Have you delved into Instagram much with respect to that algorithm? Are we seeing some of the same characteristics, being that Facebook does own Instagram? Is it a little bit of a different story? Opinions on that?
I'm not on Instagram as much.
Okay.
But I know a lot of people are, and that's the thing, or that was the thing. It's starting to fade out now, but it was really, really hot there for a while. And the algorithm worked very similar. But the algorithm there, you know how you heart people's stuff, or you only have the heart button, like there's not a like or a love or a haha button. Yep. It's just a like button only. You can't just simply scroll down and start hearting everybody's stuff. That's just not enough. That's almost like a like in Facebook. You actually have to comment on their stuff. And yeah, that's going to really open it up for more people to see. So you don't want to just heart it, comment on it too. And if you're putting a post out there, if you're using hashtags, for example, because that's where a lot of your stuff is going to be seen on Instagram is the hashtags. If you always use the same hashtags for every post, it's not going to be very effective. So each time use different hashtags on your post. Make it all is relative to whatever your post is, but try to be creative. And for example, if the hashtag is hashtag love, maybe on another one, it could be hashtag relationship or whatever it is, but something similar, but don't use the same hashtags all the time.
Yeah. Rotating content between all the different platforms. So the idea occurred to me, well, if I have those thoughts and stuff coming up and I want to capture it, right? Maybe we could use Twitter. Now I know Twitter's a whole different ballgame and stuff like that. I've seen some great information. Twitter's been around forever, of course, as we know.
Yeah.
What I've noticed about Twitter though, if I want to get something and I want the most current information, like the most up-to-date information, my go-to is actually Twitter. What's your thoughts about that?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't do Twitter.
Okay.
I have an account there, but I go on there and there's no pictures there. There's no really deep content there. I can't connect with anything there. I feel like it's just a machine scrolling. For me, I love to engage with people, with real people. And so Twitter doesn't work for me, but I know a lot of guys love Twitter and it's good for business and things like that. Depending on what the topic is, they love it. So I'm not the expert in Twitter, so I can't tell you for sure, but you can always use those other platforms to bring to your main platform. Yeah, bring them to Facebook or bring them to your YouTube channel.
Yeah. And what I've done is I use Twitter as my brain dump. So if I've got those ideas, I step back from posting it out right away. Maybe I'll use Twitter though. Maybe I'll throw a little tweet out about this, about that, whatever it is. Yeah. And then later on, I can go scroll through those tweets because maybe I do 10 tweets a day. But I can scroll through those, find something that I want to create some greater content from, maybe something that serves a Facebook post, and I kind of use that as my repository. So that's one strategy. Whether it's the perfect strategy or not, I don't know, but it seems to work for me, so I don't miss that thought right in the moment.
Yeah, you're collecting data. You can see where you're getting the most engagement and the most likes and things like that. It's like, oh, maybe I need to do a YouTube video on that because it got so much love. I probably need to go more in depth on that and do a YouTube video on that, or do a post on or a Facebook Live or something like that. Bring them there. But Twitter is good for that, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. We have a question actually from one of our viewers right now. I'll throw it up on the screen here. Libby Lee, she asks, what about posting on Insta and then auto shares to Facebook? I know you got something to tell us about this. Lay it on us.
Okay, so the posting on Instagram, I think we just covered that.
But then sharing it to Facebook. Today?
Oh, you mean sharing it to Facebook?
Yes.
I can't honestly answer that because I don't do it. But I know, again, it's supposed to work with Instagram, like they're supposed to be connected. But at the same time, Facebook sees it as you're taking people out of Facebook onto Instagram. It doesn't like that. But what you can do in your intro is put your Instagram link in your intro, just like you would your business page. And whatever you're posting on Instagram, post that same thing on Facebook. And then, you can even put in the comments something like, follow me on Instagram for more. If your main thing is Instagram, take those people from Facebook and gear them toward Instagram.
Definitely. We've got more questions. This is a great show. We've got people interacting like crazy. I've got all the list here. I'm going to throw this question up from Martin here. Maybe this great comment here. He says, we may have already talked about this since he came in late, but thoughts on video percentage posting versus pictures and sometimes just words. Now, this I know we want to hear.
Great question. Great question. So, of course, words are powerful, yes, but if you can attach a picture to it, especially a selfie, because again, it's you and people want to see more about you. If it's just a picture of nature or a duck or, something else, it's not going to get as much engagement. People, for what I mean, your friends are on, if you really follow somebody, you want to see a picture of them other than just a picture of like their backyard or something like that. So have a selfie, especially if it's something with a lot of content there. Put a picture of yourself with it, and not every single post, but every now and then it really attracts a lot of people. They want to see you. So that's good. And as far as videos go, do a Facebook Live if you can, if you're comfortable with that. That's going to go further than especially a YouTube video. Do not post a YouTube video. Facebook hates YouTube videos. It's like, why are you trying to take my people out of Facebook and put them onto YouTube? It hates that. It wants you to stay in Facebook. So if you're going to post a video, You can post one from your phone like you would a picture. Is going to be better than YouTube, but Facebook Live is going to be the best if you're going to do a video. Just make it short. Keep it 5 minutes or less, and then you can always add to it or tell them to follow you on YouTube. Put that in your intro to your YouTube channel for them to go more in depth on that topic if they really like it. Just give them a preview. The Facebook Live should be a preview. Your post should be a preview to take you to something bigger, either your business page or to your YouTube channel or wherever else they want to go.
Excellent. I've got more questions, but Mick, I got to give you a shot here.
Go for it. This is absolute gold. Get the questions out.
Awesome.
Well, that's your turn.
Awesome. One of the other questions that I've had that came up here earlier before we jumped on the show was the idea of groups. The idea of maybe, and I'm not familiar with this. I can honestly say I'm not familiar with it, but Telegram groups and utilizing WhatsApp, which of course is owned by Facebook. What's the thoughts on all of that? I mean, I myself, I've got my brand new program that I'm releasing. Angie, you're releasing a brand new program as well. We've both chosen to do that in the Facebook groups, but have you done any looking outside at some of those other platforms?
Is that a question for Mick, right?
No, that was for yourself. That was for
that's
yourself.
For me. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. And that's fair.
I'll tell you, I never want to say something that I don't know 100% on, that I'm not like an expert in. My focus is Facebook. And I believe if you focus on one or two platforms only, you're going to and be really good at those. It's going to be way more effective than being on 6 different platforms, being, kind of scattered through each one and not really being like a master of them, if that makes sense. So pick 2, pick Instagram and Facebook, or pick YouTube and Facebook, or pick Twitter and Instagram, whatever it is for you that you really are more drawn to, and just really focus on those 2 and really build up your engagement there and your following and things like that, and just use those. That's just my thoughts. And I think that applies to most things in business. Where our focus is, it grows. And if you're spread out with 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 platforms, how can you really focus and see, how can you keep track of all the followings and all the engagements and all the stuff? You got to track what you're doing, right? That's just a lot to me. That's just too much to try to track all of that. But that's just my thoughts on that.
Absolutely. And I love those thoughts, because that's the absolute truth. Unless you've got those VAs out there that are helping you with your profiles and, doing the liking, the commenting, all that sort of stuff, it can take hours out of a day, right? It really can, right? I know everyone's like, yeah, you got to create all this content, do all this, be all on these different platforms. That's great when you have a team, right? What I love about what you shared here, Angie, is becoming a specialist, right? That's really what it is. It's the same thing in our coaching fields.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In my former position with the big TR there, we can coach anyone, anywhere, anytime on anything. Now that's like throwing a great big net into the ocean, hoping to get one certain type of fish. It just doesn't happen. Right? What do we want to do? We want to specialize. For me, business. It's business. I can do relationship coaching. I can do those things. It's not my jam. As a matter of fact, I've completely stepped away from coaching and really got tight, really specialized on helping those business operators relieve that stress, scale their businesses, and become business owners. I got really clear on it, and that's my specialty. Much like what you're sharing with those social platforms. Do it until it becomes easy. Do it until it becomes second nature, where you're not having to think about it. Because if you're learning 8, 9, 10 different platforms, it seems like there's a new platform all the time. What do we got? MeWe. We've got Parlor. We've got a bunch of other ones that I've looked at them, but I don't know how to work them. I haven't jumped in yet. TikTok. I'm figuring it out. I still don't have it. Right. But as Mick just laughs at me doing the dance. I know. But it's getting to be a specialist in those areas. And like for yourself, it's Facebook. You've had the great success. I mean, I've seen the engagement, just radical engagement on your posts. And some of your posts are they're just incredibly small, but you're getting that massive engagement. So obviously what you're doing is absolutely making that humongous difference. We're coming to go to the bottom of our show here. Mick, I don't want to cut you off. Did you have any more questions? Did you have anything more that you wanted to pull out of the boss down below?
Oh, look,
Ah,
I just want to say thank you so much for sharing all of that absolute gold. I know it was super valuable for me, and lots of our viewers would absolutely love it as well. So
absolutely.
thank you for sharing and being open. That's something that Jamie and I are both passionate about, is sharing what we have and not hiding all these secrets away for us. So I really, really appreciate and thank you so much for being so open and sharing. So thank you. That's awesome.
You're welcome. You're most welcome. And it's all about getting them to wherever you're going. If you have a business or whatever, and you have a lot of engagement for some people, you're hopefully you're going to want to have a conversation with them in Messenger. You're not just waiting for them to reach out to you. You actually, just strike up a conversation in Messenger and maybe see if they're interested in what your business is or whatever. But yeah.
Awesome.
And that's a humongous takeaway right there, because look at what it is. I know we've heard of the movie. I haven't watched it yet, Social Dilemma, and everyone's pulling away from social media. Whatever. Find out everything you want about me. Use me, whatever. I'm good with it because it's the way of the future. It really, truly is. I'm not afraid of that technology. Bring it on. But the key here is social. It's social media.
Right.
Engage. Talk to the people on there, right? If I was a recluse and all that, I'd never have the amazing opportunity to connect with Angie and have her share this much information on there on the show today. It was because I was social. It's because we were both social. We got chatting, and we were doing some business work, and then after the business, it's like we're chatting back and forth and sharing this. Like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And it's like we're just exploding all these ideas because we made the conscious choice to be social. Yes. Social media is about commenting. Social media is about sharing those thoughts and ideas. Most importantly, though, one of the reasons why Mick and I started this show is to help businesses. You've imparted so much knowledge on us here, Angie. Mind is blown. Mind is quite seriously blown for all that you've given us. So I definitely want to say thank you for that. Now, because of what you've done, look, we've got to tell these viewers how they can get a hold of you, how they can reach out, how they can work with you and tap into your knowledge. What would you say is the absolute best way for them to reach out to you, for them to connect with you?
Well, I'm one of those simple old school girls. So you can just send me a friend request and send me a message. Hey, I watched your live today with Jamie. Would love to know a little bit more. I'm creating a new Facebook business page. It will be released before, I'm hoping tomorrow night. But anyway, like if you want more of this type of content, that's what I'm going to be sharing on my business page. Just because now it's getting into that. People just, once you build up your content or you build up your relationships with people, they want more. Then it's time to go ahead and create a group and to share more of those nuggets and stuff. So I'll be happy to have all of you guys there. It's going to be a private group, but just send me a friend request and let's connect.
Simple, easy, fun. Send a friend request through.
Yep, that's how you do it.
Right, that's absolutely it. With that said, again, Angie, thank you so much for sharing your time, your extremely valuable knowledge. You've blown my mind today. You've just absolutely blown my mind out of the park. Mick, last thoughts?
No, just thank you so much, and jump out there, reach out to Angie, and I'm sure she'd be happy to help and connect. Like you said, it's social, so be social. Get out there and connect.
That's it.
Excellent.
Thank you so much, guys.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. With that, we'll take you out.